Anti-LGBTQ threats fueled by internet's far-right machine shut down trans rights and drag events. The threats mostly aim to shut down events for transgender rights and drag performances, which have become frequent targets of extremists, militias, and far-right personalities during June, which is Pride Month. Isn't that fucking sad? Look at all this fucking shit. June 17th! This was not too long ago. This was just a few days ago. Inundated with threats during Pride Month, LGBTQ plus rights advocates and allies have been forced to cancel events and involve local law enforcement authorities after a group of white nationalists were arrested outside a Pride event in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. This is the thing we were kind of talking about back when we were doing the Biden executive order thing earlier. California State Senator Scott Wiener, right? Said he was at a supermarket Sunday when he was alerted by a staff member not to return to his home before calling police. Wiener, who had joked on Twitter about making Drag Queen 101 part of the K-12 curriculum in response to it. Okay. All right. That guy, I stand. Wait, that was a positive joke, right? Or was it a negative joke? Maybe I don't stand. I don't know. In response to a tweet last week by a Texas State House representative announcing a bill seeking to ban drag shows in the presence of minors, had received an email saying there was a bomb in his house. Bomb-sniffing dogs had to clear Wiener's apartment before he went back in. There's a very orchestrated network of right-wing accounts and personalities to coordinate on whatever the current attack message is and who's going to be targeted. And they have an army of social media trolls who amplify their message, he said in a phone interview. It's a very orchestrated attack machine. That's true. That's true. The bomb scare directed at the state senator's home was just one of several threats and intimidation tactics aimed at LGBTQ activists in the last week, some just hours after the high-profile arrest of 31 members of the white nationalist group Patriot Front in Idaho on Saturday. The threats mostly aim to shut down events for transgender rights and drag performances, which have become frequent targets of extremists, militias, and far-right personalities during June, which is Pride Month. They come as more than 200 bills targeting LGBTQ people have been filed across the United States this year. Far-right influencers and militias have been particularly focused in the last month on Drag Queen Story Hour events, which have been hosted at libraries throughout the U.S. since 2015. Discussion of such events has spiked online. Mentions of Drag Queen Story Hour on Twitter increased 777% in the last month, according to data provided to NBC News by the social media intelligence company Signal Labs. Michael Hayden, a senior researcher at the Southern Poverty Law Center, a nonprofit civil rights and legal advocacy organization, said the level of disruption that's happened in the last few weeks is new. He said the process of targeting specific LGBTQ events has become mainstreamed and systemized in recent months by far-right influencers with megaphones on social media. The way this works is that they have to get their targets from somewhere, Hayden said. Things get broadcast in advance by libs of TikTok and other major influencers on the right wing right now. Then extremists go into planning over it. The person who runs the libs of TikTok account did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Wow! Twitter's real life! Twitter's real life now! Oh my god! It's true. It's been real life, actually. I've never been of the opinion that Twitter's not real life. Twitter is like a direct window into people's souls. If you look hard enough at somebody's profile, you're going to see their fears, their hopes, their dreams, stuff like that. You know? And this account does a lot of really shitty stuff. The whole libs of TikTok thing is just disgusting. Hayden said there were instances in 2018 of the white nationalist group Identity Europa crashing talks by trans rights activists and drag queen story hours, but those events did not snowball into a string of actions by disparate extremist groups. There's a level of chaos involved with the target, but the choice of target comes from top down, Hayden said, and the messaging is tied up with the far-right machine. That increase in online discussion has been matched by a growing number of real-world incidents. Around 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time Sunday, Hours before the threat to Wiener's house, members of the far-right group Proud Boys interrupted a drag queen story hour at the San Lorenzo Library in Alameda County, California, and screamed transphobic and homophobic slurs in front of the children, according to local authorities. An active hate crime investigation is underway, as is an investigation into the annoying and harassing of children, Alameda County Sheriff's Office Lieutenant Ray Kelly said in a news release. Anti-LGBTQ rhetoric has exploded in many conservative and far-right online communities in recent months. Wiener's satirical post about Drag Story Hour was quickly aggregated by far-right influencers, specifically the account Libs of TikTok, which aggregates examples of events, public school teachers, and others who publicly support LGBTQ causes on TikTok and other platforms that are frequently cited by far-right influencers and outlets. Libs of TikTok also posted several times condemning the Coeur d'Alene Pride rally in the run-up to the event. The account specifically called out a performance titled The Family-Friendly Drag Dance Party to the town's mayor, saying, "We live in hell." Sarah Kate Ellis, the president and CEO of GLAAD, said in a statement that the recent spate of threats are an example of how inaccurate and harmful portrayals of LGBTQ people can lead to real-world violence. It's inevitable that extremists will be activated online and in the real world when right-wing leadership is feeding them horrific lies about LGBTQ people around the clock. The 31 men associated with Patriot Front were charged with criminal conspiracy after the event. A 911 caller described them to police as resembling a little army after seeing the group of masked men loading into a U-Haul truck with shields. Coeur d'Alene Police Chief Lee White said following their arrest that he believed the caller likely prevented a more dangerous situation, as the group allegedly planned to incite a riot at the local Pride in the Park event nearby. White told reporters that he assumed the Pride event became a flashpoint for anti-LGBTQ groups. Groups that participated in the January 6th riots, such as the Proud Boys and the Three Percenters, also appeared at the rally, along with the Atomwaffen, a neo-Nazi group. Of those arrested, only 2 individuals were residents of Idaho. White also confirmed to reporters Monday that he observed documents in which the group allegedly planned to create a confrontation, including the use of smoke grenades, before retreating down Sherman Avenue. Hours after the Coeur d'Alene arrest on Saturday night, a transgender rights rally scheduled for Sunday's Atlanta's Liberty Plaza was canceled when organizations said they received a specific targeted threat for an activist that included the date, time, and location of their planned event. Alex Ames, an organizer for the Georgia Youth Justice Coalition that had planned the rally, said it was a vulgar death threat, and that caused them to quickly cancel the event. She said the rally was rescheduled as a virtual event on Tuesday for the safety of attendees. We want to get those stories out anyways, without anyone having to make that difficult choice of, will I go there without knowing how safe I will be, she said. Despite the wave of threats against LGBTQ+ events, Wiener said, it's even more important this year for us to be out at events during Pride Month. Particularly with all of these threats around the country, now more than ever we need to be visible and vocal out there, he said. Excuse me. The last thing we should be doing is curling up into a ball because then they win. True. That's true. That's the whole point of Pride. That's why they call it Pride, right? It's because you're supposed to be proud of who you are and relish in it and show that off to other people, you know, so that other people might find something in you that they identify with, and maybe that'll make them feel more comfortable about being themselves. You know, that's the whole part of it. That's the whole thing of it. That's all of what Pride means, you know?